coffee. So good morning guys, and thank you for joining me. And today we're going to talk about set building. Now, set building in terms of when you want to do a tabletop shoot or you want to do a still life, instead of just plonking an object down on a table or putting a cloth and saying yeah that'll do, we want to build a set to try to convey an emotion or tell a story. So today we're going to shoot veg. Veg is quite important, and at the moment during lockdown I have a lot of it delivered. I freeze it and I make curries with it and all sorts, so I have a lot of the subject. That's what I'm saying, guys. But let's have a look into the studio. Let's see how we build the set itself, and then what we'll do is we'll come back here and we'll go through the image and the thinking behind it. So let's shoot off to the studio, guys, and see how we get on. Okay, morning guys, and today we're going to talk about set building. Now, I've spoken in the past about lighting, and this is something that you should train yourself to see. You should see where light is, the subtleties of light. You should see where small shadows are, how you can enhance things. And guys, this is going to improve your photography. But also, while we're stuck in lockdown, which we all are now, it's important that you learn to look at composition. Not what is there, but build composition. So today we're going to have a look at set building. Set building from the point of view of your tabletop photography. Now, it's very easy just to get something and say, huh, how interesting, what an old thing. You plonk it down on a table, you bang some lights on and you go click. Well, I'm not talking about that, guys. What I'm talking about is actually having an idea and building a set. So today's shoot is about produce, it's about food. Now, I've just had a delivery, and so I have a lot of fresh veg. Fresh veg is good for me because I can partly cook it and freeze it, and I can make veg curry, which is very delicious. So I buy a large amount of veg and pre-cook it. So that's by the by. That's nothing to do, guys, with set building. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about our set. Guys, you know my studio, and you can see what we have here before. Now, what we have is we have a table. It was given to me by the local bar because they have new ones, and we have the octabox. So the octabox is there because it's out of the way. Now, you could put a pole across, you could put a backdrop holder, something like that. But this is fairly boring. So what do I want to do today? Well, I want a basket of veg, and I want a lead in from the backdrop to the veg. So because veg is earthy and it's organic, we're going to use some sacking on the back of the octabox to give us a backdrop, and then we're going to drape some other sacking over the table so that we have texture and that on the table. But I was sort of thinking, a lot of these shots, they're very tall, and these shots are in portrait mode for a reason. Guys, I sell my images, so portrait is a good seller. So what I want to do is I want to increase several different height levels, and I want to flow through the picture. So let me just put the sacking up, and then we'll have another chat. Okay, so we've got sacking number one, and we're going to drape it over the octabox. Okay guys, so we've got the first level in. This is our basic backdrop. Now we want some over the table, and we want to increase the texture by adding another layer. So you'll see what I mean. Okay guys, when you're building your set, it's important that you take your time. It's important that you get every detail right. It's far easier to get it right now than to have to mess about afterwards. So pay attention to what you're doing. These potatoes are very shiny. I want the ones with earth, the more traditional potatoes on show. So I'm going to build up a layer. But first, I want to look at how the cauliflower sits. Well, we're not really getting a good show of the cauliflower, so it's too low. So what we're going to do, we're going to use a bit of sacking. Okay guys, that's basically it. Now I need to make some fine arrangements, and you do this by looking through your camera. I use live view so that I can see it on the back. I look at the camera, I judge the composition, I go back, I move something just slightly. If something's interfering with an edge of something, then I go back and adjust it slightly. So what we have is we have the bottle and the glass, which gives us different heights. They come down to the basket of veg here, and then across to the carrots and the courgettes and onions. Now, because it's an upright picture, we've added this loop of red material, and we've continued it across the front of the table. And this gives a loop down from the empty part of the top of the picture into the picture proper. So what we do, guys, listen, we'll go and have a look on the computer, and we'll check out what it looks like, and we'll do some explanations then. But what we've done, you see, we've added the old potatoes, the ones with a bit of mud on them, a bit more interesting, to the top. The new shiny ones, they're at the bottom, but they give it bulk. So listen guys, it's simply enough. Let's go and have a look at the computer now, and we'll go through it, and we'll go out through the reasons behind it. Okay guys, so you've seen how we physically build the set. And now what we'll do is we'll look at the final image after it's been edited, and we'll have a talk about some of the compositional ideas behind the image and why we've done it. Now let's go over into Photoshop and let's look at the image. Now guys, I need to see you properly, so I'm going to put my glasses on. Hey guys, hi. So you see that I've shot the picture actually in portrait format, and the reason being that I have a very high megapixel camera, and if I shoot in portrait format and I need a square image, then I can crop it square, no problem. And if I need a landscape image, I can even crop it to landscape mode. For me, I do sell my images, and portrait is a good format for magazine covers, for that sort of thing, for posters, for book covers, and all of that. So that's why I shoot it in portrait format. Now, when we have a look, there's a lot of dead space over here, guys, and we have this light falling off, and part of that is natural because of the way my doors work, and this is shot in natural light, by the way, and enhanced in Photoshop, obviously. But we have this big red curtain, and it brings us from the very top of the image down into where the veg is and where the table is and where the bottle and the glass is. So what is the idea with the image? Well, we have different height levels. We have from the top of the bottle across the glass down to the veg, and then we have another zigzag down to the carrots and down to the courgettes and then the onions. Now, guys, this is something which we obviously have planned out beforehand. But if we look at this image, it loops down, it loops across, and it loops back to the bottles. So there is a connection between all of the parts of the different parts of the image. Now, you can also look at it from the point of view if we crop it differently. We have a little zigzag, a little backward Z, and it comes across. So all of that part of the image is connecting with each other. So you have to think about these things. Now, what I wanted this height, and I wanted it to bring the main part of the image together. And then what we do is we come across and we come down again. So you can see, guys, that the reasoning behind it, the thinking behind it, is that we create a connection between the different aspects of the image. Now, as I say, we have this loop which brings us down. Now, I consider that the carrots here are one of the most important parts of the image because of where they're positioned. If you put a Fibonacci spiral on it, then it comes out on the carrots. Did I know that before I took the picture? No. So why did I arrange it like that? Well, it's training, guys. It's what you do is when you look at light, you practice looking at light, you look at its various nuances, and when you compose a picture, you do the same. You practice and practice seeing pictures and connections between things, and you choose your viewpoint. But in this case, what we've done is we've actually set the picture up to look as it does. So it's a simple enough thing, guys. When you look on the back of your camera, if you have live view, you can put up your cropping tools, you can put a rule of thirds, your grid up, and you can see the different parts of the image. And I would suggest to you guys that when you're arranging your stuff, that you bring into it certain different height levels and certain different forward and backward situations, so that some things are more prominent and some are less prominent. But of course, the height thing is a big issue. Now, I could fill the whole image and I could put something in the background, and I would generally end up with a very busy image. This is relatively simple. There's a connection between all the different subparts of the subject. So that's what I'm suggesting to you guys. Have a practice and look through your camera. Look on live view and put your grid up, and just make sure that when you line things up, you line them up properly and you get them to the right position. Allow for cropping, obviously. And also, when you're using live view, a big thing, get your uprights upright. You don't want to be going cropping at the end of the picture and lose something important on the edge. So it's really important, guys, that you pay attention to it, and that what you do is you look at your image and you build it up bit by bit. I hope this gives you a few ideas. This isn't supposed to be a do it my way or don't do it my way. This is supposed to give you guys ideas so that you can go and you can treat your own subjects sympathetically. Well guys, thank you once again for watching. I hope it's helpful. I hope it gives you some ideas. Thank you for being part of this community. Please, if you like the video, like it, share, subscribe. Let's get the word out there, because what we're doing is we're shooting this in lockdown. So we are trying to give you some ideas and some thoughts about how you can do your thing and still remain safe. So until the next time guys, take care and stay safe.